Good evening. I'd like to call the Tuesday, January 17th, 6 p.m. school board meeting to order. At this time, I would like for everybody to please rise for the presentation of colors. Tonight, Candidate Lieutenant First Class Yevehevi Sava, Cadet Staff Sergeant Anna Hurt, Cadet Staff Sergeant Landon Smith, Cadet Private First Class Ryan Wright will be here presenting the colors under the direction of Major Tom Hall from Matanzas High School.
Colors, hold. Left, face. Freeze and arms.
At this time, I'd like a moment of silence. Please keep in mind that the Flagler Palm Coast Bulldogs had a very serious car accident this past week with 3 of their women's basketball team injured during this time frame. Thank you. Thank you. The Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Right, face. Forward, march. Arms.
Please be seated. Roll call, please, starting at the far end. Romero.
Roymera Lewisine, present.
Isabella Tigi, present.
Christy Chong, present.
Will Furry, present.
Sally Hunt, present.
Colleen Conklin, present.
Cheryl Macero, present.
Kathy Middlestat.
Okay, we're going to go then to proclamations, special announcements. We do have a special proclamation this evening. And at this time, I would like to invite Phyllis Pearson and
Carl Jones, present.
Carl Jones to the podium, please. Keep in mind that we're working a little different this year with our proclamations. We're trying to introduce them to everybody the month prior to their actual happening. Therefore, we are all prepared. We will have a proclamation on the Flagler County School Board recognizing the month of February as Black History Month. We have with us 2 guests of honor to do this introduction, and that is Phyllis Pearson from Flagler Schools and Dr. Yes, let me get that right, and Mr. Carl Jones.
A proclamation of the Flagler County School Board
recognizing the month of February as the Black History Month. Whereas the recognition of Black History Month is a time to salute and educate our students about the many contributions and sacrifices of Americans who are of African American and Caribbean descent to our nation's culture and history. And whereas we celebrate the establishment of the Black History Month, which began on February 12, 1926, and expanded to 1976 as part of the nation's bicentennial in recognition of the humanity and perseverance of a people who survived against incredible historical odds to help shape our future. And whereas in educating the children in this public K-12 system, it is appropriate that all children learn about, reflect upon, and cherish the contributions that citizens of African American and Caribbean descent, both past and present, have made to our nation in the realm of arts, business, civil rights, education, entertainment, military, music, law, literature, politics, religion, science, and much more.
And whereas the Flagler County School District celebrates Black History Month and the many contributions of Americans of African and Caribbean descent, both past and present, have made to our nation in the realms of the arts, business, civil rights, education, entertainment, military, music, law, literature, politics, religion, science, as well as many others who have demonstrated extraordinary courage, talent, and service to our schools, as well as our community. And whereas in August of 2004, Dr. Jim Gines, the second African American to serve on the Flagler County School Board and Superintendent of Schools, Bill DeBrugge, began the African American Mentoring Program designed specifically to close the reading achievement gap for males. The girls' division was added in 2011. Since then, African American Mentoring Program has served well over 1,000 students from elementary to high school. Currently, there are 26 participating in the program. And whereas the individual and collective impact of Americans of African and Caribbean descent on this nation and world is far too great and expansive to recount. And
whereas the graduation rate of African American students continues to increase, which is indicative of our students and families assessing quality educational opportunities provided by our organization and using it as the foundation for a successful post-secondary career and quality life. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the School Board of Flagler County, Florida, that we designate the month of February 2023 as Black History Month in Flagler County Public Schools, dated this 17th day of January 2023. Signed, Cheryl Massaro, Chairman, and Kathy Middlestadt, Superintendent.
Thank you.
You want to do a picture?
A picture? Could we get a photo with the two of you, please?
And
anyone who'd like to join?
We've got some more folks, members.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. John Winston sends his regards to everyone.
Oh,
He is
taking care of his work.
Yes.
Yep.
He's on the mend. He was actually.
Is he?
Yeah, he's doing good though.
All right, we're going to move on to item 3, which is Spotlight 3.01, Superintendent Strategic Plan Spotlight. Ms. Middlestat.
Thank you, Madam Chair, board members. This evening, the spotlight is on our graduation rates. And as you may have received information and we have shared throughout the state of Florida, the Department of Education recently fine-tunes all of their data elements, and we receive our final graduation rate, which seems awkward, but it's for last year's percentage based on our students who have already graduated from us. But we go back and they go and take a look at all of the cohort from the 9th grade students all the way through on where those students finally earn their diploma. And we need to absolutely salute all the efforts, elementary, middle, and high, that help our students navigate through our school district to achieve phenomenal results. If you look at the state pre-pandemic rates in comparison to where they are now and Flagler school districts, the state actually has dropped. The Flagler schools did not drop. We maintained our percentage as our high school seniors last year graduated with a 91 percentile in terms of their performance. So that is a huge testimony to all the work that has been done the last couple of years as we've navigated through the impacts of working through COVID. Hold on. I know, right? The other elements within that are our subgroups. We always try to make sure that we are tending to and being targeted with our efforts for our subgroups of populations, and our students with disabilities increased their graduation percentage by 12%. Wow. Huge testimony to all the work that's been done with those students. And then finally, as was mentioned earlier, our Afro-American students, that subgroup of students increased by over 7%. And so we are doing the right things. We are not at 100%, so we know we still have room for improvement. We would love for every single one of our seniors when they enter our school district to earn their diploma. And so we continue to elevate excellence and strive for gaining 100%. But that's a huge testimony to all the work that's been done in previous years, and I know everyone is working right now on this current graduating class as they prepare for their graduation in May. Thank you.
Okay, now I'd like to invite Heidi Alves to the podium for the Sunshine State Scholar Program.
Good evening.
Good evening.
School Board, Chairperson Massaro, and Superintendent Middlestat. I'm here to recognize our 2022-2023 Sunshine State Scholar and Alternate for Flagler Schools. I'll tell you a little bit about the program. Every year, it's an annual event where we recognize those outstanding juniors in our state. So we have a scholar and an alternate, and a little bit about some of the requirements. The juniors have to have an interest in pursuing some sort of post-grad in some sort of STEM field. They have to have a 3.9 grade point average or higher, which you will notice neither of our folks have any problems with that. And they have to be on track to qualify for Bright Futures. So again, the students that we're going to recognize tonight just excel at really everything. They're well-rounded. We have an alternate up on our board now, Isabella. So honestly, these folks are in really good company. So a little bit about the program. So the Sunshine State Scholar will attend a 2-day program in April. It's in Orlando, and colleges, universities, and also industry will come and speak to the juniors for all the districts that attend. We want to keep our folks in state. We want to have them working here, and the best way to do it is to bring them together. They have events where they meet other juniors and they compete for little challenges, but they also get to meet lots of influential people that can make them aware of some higher educational opportunities. So the alternate this year is from Matanzas High School, and it is Austin Weeks. And unfortunately, Austin couldn't be here today because he is at All-State band competition. And the administrators at Matanzas all are kind of under the weather. So I said I would kind of talk a little bit, brag a little bit about Austin. There's so much I could say. I'm just going to kind of keep it brief, but we hope he's watching, or he can watch the recording and know that he is being celebrated today. So Austin is from Matanzas High School. Like I said, he's a junior, and he is in the ACE program, and he also dual enrolls at Daytona State and plans to have his AA before graduation. He is extremely busy with extracurricular activities. He is a model UN member, Mu Alpha Theta, Key Club. He's in the MHS band. He's on the bowling team, the tennis team, and he's the co-lead for the brass choir and quintet. Someone's phone. He's a National Honor Society member, and he also is a sports medical student intern at Matanzas High School, which kind of leads into what he wants to do. So he wants to go to med school, and he wants to go into sports medicine and be a physician. So he's looking at some state schools, UNF, USF, because they have, in his quote, they have very strong post-secondary education that he can pursue at a high level. So again, very driven young man. So Austin Weeks is our Sunshine State Scholar alternate. Yes. And now I'm going to bring up Principal Bobby Bossardette from Flagler Palm Coast High School, and he will be awarding the Sunshine State Scholar Award to Brendan Wong.
Good evening, board, student school board members, Superintendent Middlestat. I am Bobby Bossardette, the proud principal of Flagler Palm Coast High School, and I have the pleasure of introducing to you to Mr. Brendan Wong. He is FPC's Sunshine State Scholar. He is a phenomenal student. He's committed to several extracurricular activities, and he's also a varsity athlete on our campus. Brendan truly does exemplify what it means to be a Bulldog. Brendan is a junior in our IB program and has already been awarded the title of AP Scholar for his scores on his recent AP exams. His most recent SAT was a 1510, and he was recently recognized as the College Board National Rural and Small Town Scholar. Outside of the classroom, Brendan is active in future problem solving, with his projects routinely placing at the state and international level. Brendan is also active in our Air Force JROTC program. Detachment and his leadership and academic bowl team was a national finalist last summer. Brendan also competed locally in the UNF Med Nexus Challenge, with his team taking home the audience choice this past November. Brendan also stays busy with his membership in the FPC National Honor Society, Red Cross Club, and Mu Alpha Theta chapter. Brendan is also a varsity tennis player out on the courts. Outside of school, Brendan is an accomplished bridge player. Last summer, he won first place in the North American Youth Bridge Championship. Brendan also works to develop his leadership skills. Last summer, he was one of the 70 high schoolers selected to the 4-star leadership conference with 4-star General Tommy Franks. Brendan is currently enrolled in the HL Chemistry and SL Physics on our campus and is interested in pursuing a career in engineering, perhaps through the U.S. Air Force. Brendan, we are so proud of you for all of your accomplishments. Cannot wait to see what your future holds. He's exactly what you want your kids to grow up to, ladies and gentlemen. Brendan Wong.
How about you bring up your parents? Mom and Dad, you want to come up? Come on.
Go in 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations. 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 Mom and Dad. Congratulations.
Okay. Hard life. All right. All right, we're going to move on to item 4, approval of the minutes. Are there any changes or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, we'll consider them as being approved. We're going down to number 5, adoption changes. Are there any additions or changes to the agenda?
I believe there was consensus to table, which item is it?
7.02.
7.02, yeah.
Yep, 7.02. All right, we're going to pull.
Hold on, clarification, not the whole
Not
item.
the whole thing.
But within 7.02, I believe you want to have a discussion on one of our vendor contracts.
Yes.
So we're going to remove that from consent and bring it forward to action, so you can separate that. Is that correct, Board Attorney, the process?
Yes, that's what the process would be.
So are we tabling it, or?
So we're going to remove the single item, correct?
So
702 is going to action.
So 7.02, you can do one of two ways. You can either move the one vendor item specifically discussed during your workshop this afternoon for further discussion, and then approve the remaining items that are purchases over 10,000. You may approve those under consent. Or you can table or you can move the entire 702 and then discuss that single item. It is your choice.
I thought we were just tabling the one item.
Well, we can.
That's my understanding, too.
We
I
can
think
do that.
there wasn't any issues with any of the other items, right?
So we're going to pull 701 or 702, just the let's talk item. We're going to table it.
Are you tabling it, or did you want to have further conversation
tonight?
Tonight.
We don't have the details we need tonight, so
No, so I think we might as well table it.
All right, so then just the let's talk renewal contract is being tabled. The remainder of 7.02 of those
remains
$10,000 purchases, in excess of 10,000 purchases, will be approved tonight.
Yes. For clarification to everyone else, we workshop all these at the last workshop meeting, actually Tuesday, the last one. And needless to say, we have an issue with one, which we're trying to clarify. So that's why we're taking and removing it, but we'll be going and voting on the others, okay? All right, so then is there any other additions or changes to the agenda?
Chairwoman Massaro, I need one other clarification. Mm-hmm. Is it being tabled, or is it being tabled for being brought back at your next workshop? In other words, if it's tabled, it would require you all to take action to bring it back. So you can table it for a time certain to be reconsidered at your February 7 working agenda workshop, and then approval at your February 28th.
Yeah, we would bring it back. I believe the consensus was to bring it back after we received the information that was requested.
That would be your motion, or a motion to table that specific
until our next
item
meeting. Yeah,
until the next meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Do we? I guess that's all we want to do on that.
Madam Chair, I have one more.
Yes.
I want to withdraw 1801. We're working with that contractor, perhaps to bring you back some further information later in the spring. It's the TPGA discussion that we had at a recent workshop.
Right, right. Okay. Do you want, we're going to table that, or just
we need a time certain?
No, just
You're
withdraw.
just withdrawing.
The superintendent is pulling that from the agenda, so it is her purview to pull it, so it does not have to be tabled. She will bring it back once it's prepared and ready for your consideration again.
Okay. All right, any other changes or additions? Hearing none, we'll move on to public comment. A reminder, public comment should be addressed to the chair, and it has to be on this and any agenda items at this time. If you have comment on other items, it would need to go to the public comment at the end of this meeting. Yes. All right, do we have public comment? Okay, so it's not an agenda item, so you'd have to wait till the end. It should not take forever to get there, hopefully. Okay, all right, so we will listen to that. There is no other public comment at this time then?
Not on any of your agenda items, no.
All right, then we're going to go on to consent items. Actually, we have 701 to 1101, which are all consent items. We have pulled Let's Talk under request 702, which is for purchase orders over 10,000, but we can approve the rest of them. So I need a motion for that?
Move approval of consent items.
Second.
All right, we have Ms. Conklin for approval. We have Mr. Furry for second. All those in favor of approving that, say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed? It passes unanimously, all the consent items. All right, we're moving down now to our action items, which is going to take us to 16, academic service action. It's 1601. It's a request board approval for the MOU with Presbyterian Counseling Services. Ms. Brandt, yes, well, I don't know if we have a conference. Okay, we have approval. We have a motion for approval from Ms. Conklin. I need a second.
Second.
Okay, and we have Ms. Chong with the second. Is there any discussion? We have Marquez Jackson to answer any further questions.
I guess I'll just, sorry, Chairman. Just again, for the benefit of the public, a question asked during the workshop was if Presbyterian Counseling Services was faith-based, and the answer was that it is not. So again, I'm just offering that information as background information.
Okay. Any other further conversation? Any questions? Seeing none, then we will go ahead with the vote. I believe it was with Ms. Conklin and Ms. Chong first and second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. And those opposed? Passes unanimously. All right, 16.02, request board approval of the interlocal agreement with Flagler County regarding FTC's EMT program ride time requirement with Ms. Kirkland from FTC. I've been around too long, that's why I keep saying FTI, because it was still burned in my head, FTC. Okay, so are there any questions at this time? I think we probably covered most of that during the workshop. All right, I need a motion.
I'll motion.
Ms. Chong, I need a second.
I'll second.
All right, Ms. Hunt. We have a motion by Ms. Chong and a second by Ms. Hunt to approve 16.02. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Passes unanimously. All right, moving on to operational services action. 17.01, request board approval for updated code of conduct to include updated assessor definitions. The presenter is Mr. Finelli. All right, do we have a motion?
Move approval.
Ms. Conklin, a second.
I'll second.
Mr. Fury, are there any questions of Mr. Finelli? Any follow-up? Seeing none, then we have a motion by Ms. Conklin and a second by Mr. Fury to approve 17.01. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion moves forward unanimously. Moving down now, school board attorney action. 20.01, requests board approval for the MOU with Flagler County Education Foundation. Presenter is Ms. Gavin.
Board, you have before you the Education Foundation Memorandum of Understanding, which sets forth the parameters and the guidelines that we will be following as we move forward in how this board will interact with the Education Foundation Board, specifying the terms and conditions.
I need a motion.
Move approval.
Ms. Chong is the first, a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Ms. Hunt, a second. So we have a board, we have approval for the MOU with Flagler County Education Foundation. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? The motion moves unanimously. 20.02, legislative priority and strategies for the 2023 legislative session. At our workshop today, we discussed that. Is there any more conversation? Seeing none, I need a motion.
Motion.
Ms. Hunt, a second.
Second.
Ms. Chong, we have a motion by Ms. Hunt, a second by Ms. Chong to approve the legislative priority and strategies for 2023 legislative session. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Excuse me. Is there any old business? I see no old business. Moving on to new business. Is there any new business? All right, we have now the second public comment, which is open to anyone for any topic. And we have...
Oh, hold on.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we have...
a speaker.
We have first Brielle Goldberg, Water Safe.
Okay.
And then Shannon, you're next.
Good evening. I'm Brielle Goldberg, a Flagler Schools graduate class of 2017, a former Flagler Schools employee, and current WaterSafe Inc. president, a local nonprofit founded in Flagler County. WaterSafe was founded in 2016 by medical professionals who wanted to take action in response to the pediatric drownings they faced in their lines of work. In 2019, WaterSafe became an incorporated nonprofit organization, allowing us to increase our impact on the community. Drowning is a preventable tragedy, yet it is the leading cause of unintentional injury-related death for children ages 1 through 4. On average, there are 10 fatal drownings per day, and those are just the drownings that result in death. Drowning knows no season, which is why WaterSafe is a year-round initiative. However, our annual event is hosted nearly every May, which kicks off the season for our swim lesson scholarship program. Did you know that new legislation began at the start of this school year? Every Child a Swimmer legislation requires that each public school provide water safety information, including swim lesson providers, to every child that enrolls in the public school. Do you know what information is being provided to all of the new families enrolling in Flagler County schools? Do you know where this information can be found? I hope it includes that WaterSafe provides scholarships so children can receive swim lessons at no cost to their families. If you've ever attended an annual WaterSafe event, or watched swim lessons take place, or even seen the swim teams practice, you'd know that such great things happen at the Belle Terre Swim Racket Club. I encourage you to come out to our next event on Saturday, May 20th, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. I invite you to come watch swim lessons this summer and see as children's lives change when they overcome their fear of swimming or take off their flotation devices. I hope WaterSafe is able to provide more swim lessons this year than we did last year. Truth be told, it was a hard year for us, like many. Not because we don't have the sponsors who want to ensure that every child has the opportunity to learn how to swim, but because we faced unexpected changes and challenges at the Belle Terre Swim and Racket Club. I don't want to let our community down again this year. Every child who applies for a swim lesson scholarship should receive it, especially when they are scheduled to receive those lessons. I hope this school board will consider WaterSafe and the community we serve. That's the Flagler County school students and future students when making decisions pertaining to the Belle Terre pool. I hope 2023 is a year for supporting one another. Even as a growing community, we should still be a small town that takes care of each other. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Shannon Rambo on Let's Talk and Communication.
Hello, board. I'm Shannon Rambo. I'm chapter chair for Moms for Liberty of Flagler County. I wanted to talk about Let's Talk as well. Well, I wanted to start out by saying I'm really liking the new board and everything, and I love asking questions. I love that you guys ask questions. Someone asked questions about Let's Talk, and I loved that. And our parents are asking about it too. What is it? It's a lot of money for what we don't understand, so I'm really thrilled that you guys decided to at least table it for a while and let's get some more information. I was watching the workshop, though, and I thought it was really sad that we asked for statistics. Specifically, we wanted statistics on who's using it. You know, they can't give that. And I can't stand that. That's where I get to, is a lot of roadblocks, and I don't like it. I debated on coming. I have a lot going on, but I had to come because I meet a lot of people in the community, and they do tell me that I am their voice. So that's why I'm here. I'm here about the Let's Talk. And another thing they're concerned about is communication. Back to that incident that happened where there was a threat and this and that. None of the parents were notified. We still haven't talked about that. I mean, what about, we've got Let's Talk and this and that, but yet you can't notify parents when there's an incident in their schools. They want to know about those incidents, all of them. So I hope we can do better about communication. Another thing we're not comfortable with, well, I don't know, I have more questions about the Narcan. It just blows my mind that this is so readily and easily available, but I mean, we can hardly give out a Tylenol. What about kids that need insulin and all kinds of other drugs? It amazes me. All of a sudden we have this drug that everyone can carry around in their purse and it's no big deal and no one has questions. I still have questions and I'm glad that you all do as well. And whatever happened to like DARE and stuff like that? Like, why are we talking about Narcan, folks? It's about drugs. We need to talk about drugs. Whatever happened to all those programs? And once again, online, I was watching you guys go to the website today. You couldn't even find the bullying and stuff. The website, it's difficult to use, people, and it really shouldn't be. We have all the social media. It's free. Let's use it. Let's help each other. I love that. I just want to work together, so let's please do that. And the books. I'm not going away. I'm challenging them all at the district level. The Nowhere Girls, the bad parts, you know, the sex parts that no one has a problem with, starts on page 9. I have a problem with that. A lot of other people I talk to have a problem with that as well. That's just one of the books. But let me tell you, I am challenging them all at the district level. Whatever we have to do, once again, let's communicate. Thank you, and I'm excited for the future to all work together. Thanks, guys.
All right, do we have any other public comment?
No one else has signed up for public comment at this time.
All right, seeing no one, is there anyone here that would like to have something to say? There is not, so we're going to move forward. We're going into then closing comments. We're going to start with Ms. Conklin. No, we'll start with Ms. Hunt and go that way to give the girls a chance to, they always get first, so we'll give them a chance to breathe first. Ms. Hunt, you're on.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Just a couple of things tonight. Having both a school and business background, I'm really encouraged by what I'm seeing in our schools. I've had the pleasure of talking with a couple of our principals recently, and they are so focused and deliberate about the success of their students. And both, you know, if you think about the bottom quartile, our ESE students, certainly lifting them up, but even having individual plans for our students who are at or above target to make sure that each and every one of their students are excelling. And so I honestly, before I came into this role, I didn't realize with the volume of students we have, with the number of students we have at each of our schools, just how dedicated our administrators are to each and every student. And I couldn't be more hopeful and excited about the second half of the school year. So I wanted to share that because I think that's really good news for us to talk about. And Superintendent Middlestat, I think, as you mentioned, it's showing in graduation rates and other metrics. The only other thing that I wanted to mention is just, again, our thoughts and prayers were with the Bulldog family in the accident of our 3 students. And I just wanted to share publicly, I'm not alone in hearing about a lot of different accidents happening on Belterre. And as a community member, as a mom, as a school board member, I don't know what this means, or I don't know what we can do as a community, but I just do want to ask that we all drive safe and realize that our kids and our family members are on the road here in our community. So I just wanted to end with that. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Just wanted to also say that my thoughts and prayers are with our FPC athletes, and just wishing them a speedy recovery and hope to see them back on the court very soon. Also, in addition to that, I'd like to say that I had a great tour of Belterre Elementary School with Principal DeFord. I am the liaison for that school, and she's running a really tight ship over there, and I even had an opportunity to participate in Car Rider. That was a lot of fun. And so I'll be making my way around to all the schools eventually. I'm looking forward to meeting all the principals and faculty and the teachers, and really getting a pulse for what's happening with their boots on the ground, for lack of a better term. So also, I just wanted to highlight one more thing, that you know, this coming week is National School Choice Week, which was designed to inform, inspire, and empower parents to discover K through 12 education options available for their children, including traditional public school, which I've chosen for my kids. I think that is the best form of education for them, but there are other options such as charter, magnet, online, private, and homeschooling. And I'm just proud to say that here in Florida that we give parents lots of choices. Thank you and have a good evening.
Yes, I'll just also echo that the FBC girls basketball team is in our thoughts and prayers. I know that we're all thinking about them and looking forward to having you all back in our schools. And I know that safety and wellness is it's a high priority for all of us. And we look forward to, you know, that healing process happening and seeing you back in our schools. And I'll also just add, thank you, Brielle, for coming. Brielle's mom actually taught all of my children to swim. So that's a huge, important thing for me, especially in healthcare. There's nothing worse than seeing a child drown. And so thank you for coming tonight and just expressing that, so we get to hear about that and learn more. So that's it. Thanks.
Hello, everybody. I just want to say, yes, our thoughts and prayers are with the FBC basketball players. And I had heard you mention something about DARE. And I just wanted to say that the Teen Town Hall, we just did a Teen Town Hall on a natural high, which is finding other outlets to like get that natural high, like running, or if you like art and stuff like that. And our next Teen Town Hall is on vaping, marijuana, and tobacco use. So we are listening. There is other things similar to keeping our youth like away from drugs, alcohol, and etc. And I also just wanted to highlight the Matanzas National Honor Society chapter received the Patriotic Youth Award from the VFW just January 13th for doing a food drive with them. We actually made 18 Thanksgiving baskets. I know that was a while ago, but we just got presented that award. The Lady Pirate weightlifting team is going to districts. The Lady Pirate wrestling team just recently won, not one, but two tournaments, one of which I think we had over a 100-point lead. PAC is actually having a PD the Pirate night where we're really just getting the school spirit going. That was tonight. The Matanzas band is at Allstate, as you've heard why Austin Weeks wasn't here. And those are my comments.
Okay, so I would like to, again, start by saying to keep the FPC Bulldogs basketball team in your thoughts and prayers as they recover, hoping for a speedy recovery. And then also, I would like to, again, celebrate Brendan Wing. He's an amazing and intelligent individual at our school, and I am very proud of him for winning or getting to go to the senior or not the senior, sorry, the Sunshine State Scholar Award. And then also with January 13 just passing, I would like to thank the Flagler Ed Foundation for their work with scholarships, seeing as I am a senior and I applied to many of those scholarships, and I know a lot of other seniors are very grateful for the opportunity to have all of our local scholarships in one place. So thank you for that. And and that's all, yeah.
And again, everybody's going to share their thoughts and prayers for the basketball players. I know that 2 have been released from the hospital, and I believe there's still one young lady that is in recovery, and we'll have quite a road ahead of her, but we are all thinking and praying for all of them and the team as a whole. Congratulations, Superintendent Middlestat, and to the both high schools on the graduation rate. But I think your point is well taken, that it's really everybody deserves the congratulations. So from kindergarten all the way up, and in addition to, of course, our students who are doing the hard work to get there, our teachers and our families as well. But what incredible, wonderful news to hear about the increase in the ESE rates. That has been on the list for quite a while now, and also the increase in our African American population. But our ESE population, that has just been one of those that we've been kind of focused on for a while and not able to move the needle on. So congratulations to you, Dr. Holliday, and everybody else who is kind of focused, laser focused on that issue. Thank you for coming tonight and sharing the issues around and some of the concerns and the stats around water safety. That was a really great presentation, if you will, of what your program offers, and I'm interested to learn a little bit more about how we are working with you currently and how we might be able to work with you in the future. So thank you for sharing that. And congratulations to our Sunshine State scholars. Every time I hear all that they do, it makes, you sit there and realize, first of all, I don't even want to share what I was like in high school, but even as an adult, it's just what they take on and what they're able to accomplish, what they're able to balance with their time is just mind-blowing to me. And then the very last, and I know we've passed new business or old business, but maybe sometime in the future, I know that we do an awful lot around drug awareness. And probably when I hear that, folks are not aware of some of those things, we need to figure out a way to how to share that information so that everyone is aware, because those programs are available from kindergarten all the way to high school. So being able to share that information or a location where some of those programs are available so folks know what's going on. And we work with our SRDs. They do a lot of that stuff. Other than that, that's it. Thank you. It's been a long day. Good workshop, and good discussion, and look forward to continuing to work together.
I get to go last, and by the time I start out with a really long list, and then they all cover it, which is wonderful. I mean, it's the truth from the students on down, and that's a good thing. So it means I have less to talk about, but they've covered much of the wonderful things that were going on. I did want to comment on the virtual teen town hall. It is the girls that are running that, and that is Thursday, January 19th at 7:30 p.m., and it is on vaping, tobacco, and marijuana. And we have an expert on there, and after the expert does their little presentation, then there is there's conversation. And the conversations have been very good. So if you know a student from middle school to high school that would like to participate, don't hesitate to get in touch with either one of them or myself, our emails, and we'll hook them up. Simple as that. We've talked already about the FPC girls basketball. That's Bulldog proud, that's Bulldog family. And we don't want to see anybody in any of our school districts, any of our schools hurt. So I'm hoping they're well on their way to recovery. Graduation rate up, ESE up, that's wonderful. So that's something that we all can be very proud of, especially our superintendent and our staff, all of our staff that work so hard every day with our kids. Generally, sometimes we get letters, and a lot of times they're anonymous. Usually when it's anonymous, I don't respond because I prefer somebody to talk to me. I'm not going to come back after them, and I want to listen, and I can get a better feel. But I did get an anonymous note about salary, and I understand that everybody wants to make as much money as they possibly can, and certainly every one of us here wants to give away as much money as we possibly can. But I do want people to understand that there is a salary matrix committee that is trying to figure out and level out as much as possible all of the problems that were developed when our governor came out and gave all our teachers a great starting salary, but then that caused a lot of other problems. And then our rate got raised to $15 an hour. That created more problems. So we're trying to get it all balanced out. It's not an easy job, and I compliment those working on it. But just know that we're not forgetting any employee. We know what everybody's making, and we're trying to elevate that as much as we possibly can. So that's important. Good news, tomorrow night is a special night in this district. Tomorrow night, we will have our Teacher of the Year and our Employee of the Year. I'm probably stealing her line now, too. So, yes, and our Rookie of the Year acknowledged, and all the people that were nominated from all the different schools. I believe it starts at 5:30 at the Auditorium over in front of FPC. It's a big event. It's lots of fun. Looking forward to that tomorrow night.
Is it 5:30 or 6:30? 6
No,
o'clock.
it's 6:30.
Is it 6:30?
Okay. Whew.
Okay, 6:30. 6:30. Okay. And then another thing that's coming up, and I see Ms. Rizzo in this room right now, is Mardi Gras. And the Ed Foundation does a wonderful celebration on Mardi Gras. What is the date, Ms. Rizzo? 21st. Okay, Fat Tuesday. That is also when our school board meeting usually meets. I believe it's being moved to Wednesday. So we can all go to Fat Tuesday and celebrate Mardi Gras. So, you know, if you want to chip in a little bit and help our students with scholarships, because that's where all that money goes, it's a fun night. It is generally a really fun night. So I'm looking forward to that. With that being said, I will turn this over to Ms. Middlestat for her closing comments.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And just to bring closure to this meeting tonight, as was mentioned earlier, so we exist as a school district to provide every opportunity for our students to learn and grow and thrive in. And the only way we can achieve that is by the dedicated professionals that we have within our organization. So tomorrow night is one of my favorite evenings. It's the gala. It's where we recognize our Employee of the Year for each department and each school-based district team, our Teachers of the Year at those respective schools, our Rookie Teachers of the Year, which is new this year, our Assistant Principal of the Year, and our Principal of the Year. These talented individuals this year represent our shining stars, and without their role modeling, leading by example to elevate all that we do in Flagler schools, we wouldn't be able to achieve the data outcomes that we shared earlier this evening. So tomorrow night's one of my favorite times. My second favorite time is, of course, the graduation ceremonies for our students. So tomorrow night's all about our employees. I believe anyone who's being recognized has been asked to be there prior to 6. I'm looking for Jason. I think that's close. But the actual event itself rolls out the red carpet at 6:30. So thank you so much, board. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow night, sharing with this great celebration of all of our employees who do so many wonderful things for us.
With that being said, and everybody had their comments, then I'm going to close tonight's meeting and thank you all for coming. And if you have questions or you need to speak to any of us, please don't hesitate. We're willing to take time to talk to you. So thank you and good night.